Hey everyone, we're back with another project, and today I just got the bright idea to make Bradley a custom NERF case for his Strife blaster that we repainted, and I think it turned out pretty sweet. We're gonna do another repaint shortly, a couple videos, but yeah, we're gonna do another repaint, but we're going to make a case for this one first, okay? So it's just going to be a simple case. I'm planning, I already cut out two pieces of a top and a bottom, or maybe a top and a bottom. Maybe a bottom and a top and a bottom. We'll figure it out, whatever we want to do. Maybe I'll write top here. This is the top one right there. Okay, so I just made it slightly larger than the actual gun itself. I gave myself a 1/2 inch on each side because I don't have much of the 1/4 inch left, so I might end up having to use my 1/2 inch MDF for part of it, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see what we do. I'm just going to cut up some more pieces. Cut a couple more pieces. I decided for the top we're going to go 1 inch all the way around. Alright, so on the top we're going to have 1 inch strips. I don't know what I cut here, why I cut those. Those aren't the right pieces. They're going to get cut out of something else. But my 9 inch pieces are here. I did 9 by 14 and 3/4, which ends up being just slightly larger than the gun. So those will go on the ends. Obviously, I'm going to have other ones. Those are the drops from that, and basically like a so, like this. Okay, man. All right, that's gonna go on there, and then there'll be foam. I have 1 inch thick foam. That's gonna get glued in there, and on the top half, I'm gonna have. Where's the foam? It's over here. I'm gonna have cutouts for the clip, or maybe both clips, and then I'm gonna do a cutout for some ammo, so he could carry, clips and ammo when he's going to have some Nerf wars or playing spy, playing spy, or whatever he's doing. So that's the plan. I have some elastic and some of my kit stuff, so we'll put some elastic there so you can slide it in. That'll hold it in. It doesn't fall out when the case is closed. So at least we have a top, right? We've got a top. We've got that figured out. All that's left is the bottom. The bottom's going to have to be quite a bit thicker. Still use this, even though I wrote top on it. Don't tell anybody, because obviously it's got to house the gun. So if we measure it, we're looking at, we could probably get away with 2 inches, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go 2.5, and then I'll just do a double layer of foam at 2 inches, and the gun will just stick up a little bit, so it'll be easier for him to pull out. So that's the next step. Okay, we've got a bunch of pieces cut out. Ended up having to use a lot more 1/2 inch than I wanted to. A lot less 1/4 available than I thought I had. So the top's going to have 2 pieces of 1/2 inch going across it, long ways. And then I'm going to have the 1/4 inch on the ends, just kind of capping it in, which is fine. I'm hoping the 1/2 inch actually will add a little weight to it, make it feel a little more official, like a nice real gun case, it has a nice substantial feel to it. So that's where we're at now. We got to glue it all together. I like to glue it and then add a couple nails to it, so that way I can keep working with it. If I had a staple gun, a nice staple gun, I'd staple it, but I don't. So we're going to go ahead and glue her all together and see where we're at there. All right, come along on a ride and let's do some gluing. I am going to take all this stuff out to my belt sander and trim it all and do all that kind of fun stuff to it. You know, sand it square, all that kind of stuff, so that way any overhang that I might have made, because as I've stated before, my carpentry skills are just borderline terrible. I work with metal on a daily basis. A lot more leeway to do with metal. I mean, unless it's like an X-ray, maybe you don't have to do it, but you know, get a little undersized spot or something. Well, grind it smooth, you're all set. That's it. We've got these bad mama jammas. I'm gonna put these on there. Alright, now while that's all drying, we're going to cut some foam for inside, obviously to hold the gun. Okay, so we need a straight line to start with, so that way, you know, maybe it's kind of straight. Straight line. Now I needed 13 and a half. Alright, 13 and a half by 8. And this one's going to be the one that's double stacked. So, I should have a marker in my plethora of miscellaneous crap over here. We'll go with red, maybe it'll show up on here. And we're going to go over 8 inches. Oh yeah, that's a nice line. 8 inches. Measure it in a few spots because I highly doubt this is perfectly straight. So by doing it in a few different spots and connecting them, it's going to be the straightest I can get it without, you know, really starting off a perfectly square, perfectly straight line. The other way was 13 and a half, but we'll do that for this one because that is not straight there or there. That's not going to be very fun. So I'm going to use this again, try and keep my blade a little straighter. I'll try a different, you know, bajillion of these knives. So now we have 2 pieces, right? That's going to be the base where the gun's going to lay, right? We're going to have it in there like so. Okay, but we're going to glue it together first. Let it sit for a while. For that, I'm going to use contact cement. The stuff I have is sitting somewhere. It is Wellwood contact cement. I know a lot of guys in props, they use barge. I haven't found barge around me yet, so I would like to use it. Contact cement sets up a bit. I've let this dry for about 15 minutes. It gets tacky, you know, and once you stick these together, they're stuck. So kind of pick an edge and roll with it, you know, and don't stick it to your shirt like I just did. How do I want to do this? We'll do it this way. Put that edge there. Just kind of roll it onto the other one. Just like so. The will curl up a little bit. It is foam. I'd put a pretty heavy coat of the contact cement on there because it's foam. It sucks it in pretty good. Once you have it on there, I like to keep weight on it for an hour or so, just so it doesn't pull apart or anything while it's setting up. So we'll use the trusty old toolkit like we used on the vacuum former. Keep a little weight on there, and while that sets up, the rest of our box should be setting up. I'm still going to add a couple tack nails to the box just to really make sure it doesn't fall apart. You know, I might even seal the corners and the seams inside with a little extra glue. I'll use the same contact cement when we do the foam into the box also. Alright, we got the contact cement. Box is all glued up, sanded down, put a couple nails in it and stuff. Alright, we got the foam ready to go. I'm going to put the foam in the box, and then once we got it in here, we'll get her all laid out and start cutting out the shape of the gun. Gotta get this in here nice and neat so it actually seals in there. I only put the glue on the bottom so that way I can actually move the sides where I need it, and I can always seal up the sides later if there's too much movement in the foam itself. This. Alright, get it in there. Push on it a little bit. It's been sitting for a good 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Alright, get it all pushed in there. Look at that. Not too shabby, huh? You guys see that alright? It's all nice and neat in there. Alright? And that contact cement, it'll never come out of there. Alright? So next step, obviously we have to dust on the gun. I don't know if you guys can get a good view of the gun and how it turned out. There's some pictures in the intro video before all the videos. I also have some pictures on my Instagram. You can check them out over there of the before and afters. So that's going to go in there like that. So, or should we put it in there like that? Maybe like that. It sits flatter that way. So we can do that. I'll make a cardboard template of the gun, and we'll lay it on there, and it'll make it a lot easier to trace it out. You know, so I'm not trying to trace out a big clunky gun like this right in here. So, alright, let me get some cardboard and we'll do that. Okay, instead of cardboard I found some paper bags, so I'm going to use those. It's about the same consistency as craft paper, so that will work perfectly fine. Now we're going to trace it the best we can. Close as we can, and by allowing the pen to rest against it, but also tip it just a little bit because I don't want it too much bigger. I want it to be kind of tight, you know. And I'm doing it so the clip will be separate. Like I said before, I'm going to put the clip in the upper part. Not too bad, should be alright. Alright, and like you guys can see here, it doesn't have to be too absolutely perfect. We're going to trim it out and make it fit. I'll cut it inside the line and blast. do have pins, so if you take the pins, go over your template, make sure it's kind of where you want it, and just pin all the corners. Nice and alright, we'll take that same Sharpie and outline it on here now. Alright, so we got everything painted. The foam painted, it's all in. I threw the hinges on the box already. So I'm a little ahead of where we left off. But this is the gist of what we have so far. It's not the finished paint job by any means. It just did a rough seal of everything. And I sealed the actual foam that I put in. If you look at the earlier videos, it was a light gray, and this is what it looks like with everything in it. So I gave it enough room for 12 bullets, because it's double thick there. One clip, and then the gun. So that's how she looks like right now. I just ran out to the store, and I picked up some locking clasps that we're going to put on there to lock the case closed. It's a cheap steel handle, and some chain. Chain I'm going to put inside the box, so it'll actually go in there and hold this lid from going all the way open. So that way it's not constantly bouncing or anything, and it gives another cool little look to the box. You know? So that's what we're going to work on now. The one thing I do want to do is try and weather these bright brass fittings for the outside just a little bit. And see what we can do to this handle. If I have to, I'll take it outside and put some black on it, scuff it up, make it look weathered. I don't want this box to look brand new. I want it to look worn and beat, like it's a gun case that you take to the range every week to go shooting. So that's the plan. I want it weathered, I want it beaten, so I'm going to take it obviously out and sand these edges a lot more smooth, round everything, but I just wanted it sealed with the Plasti Dip, and then I did a light coat of regular black paint over it. Obviously I don't want these hinges to say bright silver. I'm going to weather those also, and maybe hit those with black paint. I'm not really sure, but we'll get it all nice and weathered. But all in all, that's where we're at, and we're going to try and get these weathered. Now we'll take it out to the garage and see if we can't heat these fittings up and make them look old. Gosh, it's kind of a mess right now. I apologize for that. So we're going to fire up this Bernzomatic torch, and we're going to try and weather these fittings a little bit. I got a fan going on. Fan's blowing the other way, so any brass fittings, anything like that, they're really not going to weather like other stuff. They come with like a clear coat on them. So I learned this from another YouTube channel. I learned that some brass fittings, you can heat them up with a torch and you can get a nice weathered look, burnt look, or at least get that clear coat burned off of it and then weather them. So I'm hoping this works. I'm not really sure if it's going to work. But I guess we're all going to find out together now. What are you going to do? Look at those fittings. There is, while those pliers are hot. Look at that. Nice and worn. They look old. Nice old brass. Got them nice heat marks in there. Those are going to look nice on the box. Now we're going to try and do something with that handle. Get these cool, worn out looking hinges and stuff like that, I'm probably going to pop these hinges off and do the same thing with them. If not, I'll just paint those black. Not many people are going to be looking at the back of the box. Now for this, I think what I'm going to do is tape the box shut. Use masking tape so hopefully it doesn't peel off the plastic dip and whatnot. But I really don't want the box opening up. Well, I'm trying to put clasps on it. I should make that a little bigger. So we'll tape it shut, hold it nice and tight. Alright. And we'll hold it so while I have it like this, it doesn't open up. That. Take it to the camp. Take it with you to the gun place. First pass of weathering on it, I think it looks pretty darn good. The only thing I have to do is the hinges. The hinges are a little messed up. You can see there the hinges are way too bright for this box. You can see I left it like a nice old worn beat up case. I mean, yeah, I weathered all the edges with sandpaper. I dulled up all the finish all the way around. All the corners I hit real well, like it was banged around in somebody's trunk, you know. The hinges, I mean the locks are all nice and weathered. Oh well, you can see them. Same with the handle, that was nice and shiny when I got it. So you unlock it, right? You open her up, and it's a mess inside, just like that. I forgot I was banging it all over the place. So the only thing I am going to add is on those darts, so that doesn't happen. I'm going to put a piece of Velcro or elastic in here. I have some craft elastic from doing the foam armor, so that works nice. I'm just going to put it across there, probably hot glue it into the foam, and that'll be that.